Hi, my name is Precious, and one of my bachelor's of science is in psychology. Today, we're going to talk about the neuroscience of change and how to rewire your brain for success. Have you ever wondered why it's so hard to break bad habits or form new ones? Or why some people seem to grow and adapt while others stay stuck? Well, it all comes down to how your brain works. But the good news is that you can actually rewire your brain for success. So let's break down the science behind it and how to apply it to your life. I want you to remember this: your brain is not fixed. It's constantly changing and adapting to your behaviors, your experiences, and also your thoughts. This ability is called neuroplasticity, which is the brain's ability to reorganize itself by forming new neural connections in your brain. Every time you learn something new, you practice a skill, or you think differently, your brain is either strengthening or weakening a neural pathway. The more you repeat a behavior, the stronger those neural pathways become. It's like a path in a forest. Let's say that you're in a forest and there is no path. Let's say you drive, but you keep driving back and forth. Over time, you're going to see a trail of tire marks. So that is strengthening of the neural pathways in your brain. However, if you don't take that road for a while, the trail starts to weaken, and over time you won't see that trail as easily as you would have if you had kept on repeating the movement of driving your car down a trail. That's just a simple way of you to think about neural pathways being strengthened or weakened in your brain. So that being said, the less you engage in a habit, the weaker those neural pathways become, and they eventually just fade away. Neuroplasticity occurs in two ways. There's structural neuroplasticity and functional neuroplasticity. So structural neuroplasticity involves physical changes in the brain. So this is the growth of new neurons, which is called neurogenesis, or the strengthening of synapses in your brain. This is commonly seen in people who are developing a new skill, recovering from brain injuries, or even learning a new language. Functional neuroplasticity is the brain's ability to reassign functions from one damaged area to another area. For example, when one part of someone's brain is damaged or injured, the other part of their brain may take over that damaged part's function. This demonstrates the brain's ability to adapt and also rewire itself. The good news is that no matter how old you are, your brain is capable of change. Even in adulthood, your brain can form new connections. This can help you develop some new habits, break or unlearn some bad and negative patterns, and overall just allow you to adapt to change. Okay, now let's talk about the role of the prefrontal cortex, the side of your brain that is in charge of decision-making skills, and we're also going to talk about the basal ganglia. These two key areas of the brain play a huge role in habit formation and also change. The prefrontal cortex is the decision maker. It's often referred to as the CEO of the brain. It is responsible for executive functions like decision making, impulse control, planning, and goal setting. When you decide to change a habit or push yourself towards a new goal, your prefrontal cortex is engaged in this process. It helps you stay focused on the long-term success rather than you giving into the short-term gratification. However, this part of the brain is energy intensive. So we're talking about the prefrontal cortex. So it requires energy, it requires effort to stay engaged. This is why relying on just willpower alone is not an effective strategy for long-term success, especially when it comes to goal setting. Over time, the more you practice self-discipline and conscious decision-making, it strengthens your prefrontal cortex. This makes it a lot easier for you to stick to new habits and resist the old temptations. Now let's talk about the basal ganglia, which is the habit center. So the basal ganglia is a deep brain structure that controls automated behaviors and habits. So when you are repeatedly engaging in an action, it shifts from being a conscious effort, which is driven by your prefrontal cortex, to an automatic or automated behavior, which is driven by your basal ganglia. This explains why habits tend to feel effortless when they become more ingrained. So the habit loop, which is controlled by the basal ganglia, is consisted of 3 parts. These are cue, routine, and reward. Cue is the trigger that initiates the habit. Routine is the actual behavior. Now, reward reinforces the behavior because the brain releases dopamine. So to change your habit, you have to interrupt this loop by first identifying your cues. Then you replace the routine with a healthier one. And lastly, you ensure that the new behavior creates a satisfying reward. So because the basal ganglia runs on repetition, small consistent efforts is key to rewiring it and also forming long-term habits. The more you repeat a new behavior, the stronger the neural pathways become until it becomes like a second nature to you. Here's how to rewire your brain for success. So we know that change is possible. Here's how to actually make that happen in your life. The first key is focus on repetition and consistency. The brain strengthens what you repeatedly do. So instead of trying to do a massive change, focus on small, consistent efforts every single day. So if your goal is to start waking up earlier and you're used to waking up at 12 p.m., noon, instead of randomly deciding to wake up at 4 a.m. the next day, start by waking up 15 minutes earlier every couple of days until you get to your desired goal. Remember, small, consistent changes is key. The second one is replace, don't just remove. Your brain doesn't like empty spaces, so instead of stopping a bad habit, replace it with a new and a healthy habit. So instead of quitting scrolling on social media right before bed, try journaling or reading right before bed instead. The next one is visualize and emotionally engage with change. Your brain responds strongly to visualization and also your emotion. So I want you to imagine yourself already achieving your goal. I want you to ask yourself, how do you feel? How does that success look like to you? The next one is use positive reinforcement. Reward yourself when you make progress. Your brain releases dopamine when you achieve the small wins. This reinforces that behavior. So for example, if you stick to your study schedule all week, treat yourself to something small like a healthy snack or something like that. The next one is change your environment to support your personal goals. The brain is wired to take the easiest path. So make success easier by making and creating an environment that fosters your growth that you're looking for. For example, if you want to start eating healthier, get rid of junk food and replace it with healthier snacks all around your house that make it easier for you to just grab. And now the last one, which is number 6, is watch your inner dialogue. The way you talk to yourself shapes your beliefs and also your actions. Replace I'm not good at this to I'm getting better at this every single day. Your brain listens to the words you say, so speak to yourself like you're someone that you believe in. You have the power to change. Rewiring your brain is not an overnight process, but it is possible to change. Through neuroplasticity, repetition, visualization, and environmental changes, you can create habits that support your goals. I want you to ask yourself, what is one thing that you're committing to starting today? That is all for this video. Thank you so much for watching. Let me know if you have any questions, comments, or concern, and let me know if you'd like me to further expand on this video. That is all for now. Bye.